so nice to meet you. Take a seat.
Nice to meet you.
Make yourself comfortable. How are you guys feeling?
So good.
Wow, look at all these people who gather here to see you. Isn't this amazing?
It's so amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
We're huge fans of the show.
So cool.
My heart is beating so fast right now, you guys. This is crazy. So much love, so much passion. Love you.
Tell me, is your first time here in Argentina?
This is my first time in Argentina. Not my last. I love it here.
How about you guys?
Yeah, same, man. It's lovely. We're definitely coming back.
Wow, yeah, definitely.
I want to come back like next week. I don't think I can, but...
Wow, that's great. Well, we were anxiously waiting for you. We're huge fans from the show. So we are so happy to have you here. We're super thankful.
So good to be here.
Okay, so let's get this panel started. Okay, let's talk about the show. Gabby, tell us, what do you enjoy most about playing Nick?
You know, man, honestly, I love the fact that I get to play with magic.
Yeah.
I was doing it on the playground when I was a kid. I ran around and used my imagination and was like casting spells and was being a wizard and a Jedi then, and now I get to do it as a living. And Nick Scratch is a cool, badass dude, man.
I mean, he's an intriguing character. You never know what's going on in this guy's mind. So it must be fun to play.
It really is. So that's the other thing that I really love about him is that he has such a art from when we first see him. You know, there's a lot of changes that happen, and really Sabrina coming into his world changes him in such a profound way.
That's great.
And we just see that grow.
Yeah. And how are you, Kieran? What do you enjoy most about playing Sabrina?
I love working with Gavin. No, Gavin's great, but in all seriousness, I love playing Sabrina because she's a strong, empowered young woman, and I think that that's really important to portray in television. I know that when I was growing up, the shows that I watched, the characters that I loved, I wanted to be those people, and I think Sabrina sets a really great example for other young people to stand up for what you believe in, do what's right, be a good friend, be a good sister, be a good niece, be a good whatever you are. And I think that above all else, I love that she's just a badass.
Yeah.
She's just a badass.
Actually, what's awesome about her is that she always lives under her own convictions. Like, nobody tells her what to do. Like,
Yeah, she's stubborn.
yeah, absolutely. And how do you prepare for your role?
I love to be as prepared as possible because then we can just play. For me, it's about knowing the character, being comfortable in her shoes, being prepared with the lines, the beautiful words that are written, that are put on the page. And then from there, it's just kind of about what happens in the moment, you know? When we do scenes together, I feel like we're saying the words, but I never know what's going to happen. I mean, I feel like all of it is very spontaneous on the show to a certain extent. So for me, my process is just to be as prepared as possible so I can have fun.
Yeah. And how about you? How do you prepare?
Yeah, I mean, similar. Learning your lines and being on time.
Learn your lines, kids.
Yeah. But definitely in the beginning, you know, there is a bit of developing who that person is and how they fit into the world and all that. And a big aspect of that preparation is like largely due to wardrobe and seeing the sets and just immersing yourself in that world too. And when it's painted so beautifully and when it's done so well, it makes the job easier of stepping into that role.
That's great. And how was the casting process going for you?
It's wild, man. I had the audition in LA with David Rappaport, and I had a callback the very next day, and it was one of those things that I was just waiting for and hoping for, and it felt so good to play in the room, and the character just felt so right. And I felt like I knew who he was to some degree, and when I got the call, I was sitting in my car at a non-union Walmart commercial callback, and my manager called me and told me that I had got the role of Nick, and I just cried, man. I mean, it was so emotional.
That's really, it is life-changing.
It really is, man. My life has completely changed.
And how about you, Kieran? How was your casting?
I I heard about the role, auditioned for it twice, and got it within a week. So it was the craziest week of my life. It was also an early Christmas present because I got it on December 21st. So I was like, okay, this is a nice present. That's all I want for Christmas. I met with Roberto initially, and I did a few auditions, and I was nervous, and it was the longest 3-day wait of my entire life. I dyed my hair blonde for the audition. I had brown hair like I do now, and I said, I just want to look like Sabrina for the audition. I want to do the best job I possibly can do, and I was in a doctor's office, and I got the call, and I started just crying as well, and I was so excited, and you know, now we're in Argentina, so it's
That's amazing.
I mean, they're super cool. I loved comic books growing up.
Yeah. And Gavin, how is it for you to join a show with such a huge fan base?
It's honestly mind-blowing.
I mean, look at all these people.
Holy crap. You kind of forget a little bit at first. Like, we're working on a show in Vancouver, and we go to set, and we, you know, stay disciplined to some degree, and just doing the work. But then you get to come and see truly how much support and love surrounds the show, and it's just like the best cherry on top of that. Just like, it fills you with so much love and reminds you why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's great. And what is your relationship with your fans, Kieran?
my gosh, you guys are amazing. I'm just gonna say that right now, right here. It's so cool. It's so cool because I knew going into the show that, I knew going into the show that Riverdale had a big fan base. They had very passionate fans, so I kind of knew that we were going to run into something similar with our show. But I wasn't prepared for the amount of love and awesomeness that the fans of this show have brought to the table. Really, I mean, the show revolves around the fans in so many ways, and it's so important to hear back from the fans because that's how we cater our show to you. We cater our show to you. I mean, you guys love Nabrina, you're gonna get Nabrina, know what I mean? It's really cool how cool the community is, how everyone is interacting with us, how I see you guys on Instagram, I see you guys on Twitter and Tumblr, and it's just, it feels like a family. It feels like a humongous, ginormous, worldwide family. It's the coolest thing.
That's great. You guys have so many cool scenes together on the show. We're gonna watch a small fraction of a scene between Nick and Sabrina, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about these two characters' relationship. Okay? Cool. Okay, podemos ver tape, señora directora? For the show.
Yeah, I just heard somebody yell, "Kiss!" from the audience.
Gavin, what was going through your mind while shooting the scene? Do you remember?
You know, it's interesting to see that. That was like a long time ago. I mean, so much time has passed since then, but I mean, there's so many fond memories of it, and getting to work with Kieran is always a joy. Like, we're always trying to find what's happening in the scene together, and I feel like there's just this trust between us when we do get to play that's sacred to some degree. You know, I mean, that's where the freedom lies. It's just trusting each other and allowing ourselves to go to certain emotional places that we do as characters. Yeah, man.
That's great. And what was the hardest scene that you had to play in the show so far?
Okay, hardest scene is actually the one before this where Sabrina is talking to Lucifer, Dark Lord, and I come around the corner and it's when she spits in my face.
When I spit on his face.
Like, that was probably a day that I walked away going, damn, like, I know we're acting, but it's a weird thing to do, like, we have odd jobs, like, where we're doing that stuff. I mean, that was definitely a weird one.
What is your favorite scene that you shot together with Kieran?
Valentine's dance was so
Oh, the Valentine's dance was so
We
cute.
just got to dance all day. We got to spin around and be silly, and like we were there with Ross and Jazz and Lachlan, and we just got to play music. There's so much love happening behind the scenes too, you know, like when we're all there together on those days, the scenes are so fun to do because we get to make this really fun show, but there's so much love happening backstage as well. And when we're all together like that.
And how about you, Kieran? Like, what's scene that you have to shoot with Gavin? Wow.
Impressive. I would say that my favorite scene that Gavin and I have probably shot together is I really like the first time that our characters kiss on the when we're doing the passion play, and there's this moment where we're both talking as we're characters playing other characters. So we're talking as other people, but the things we're saying are so about each other. And it's just like, it was just lovely scene. I think a lovely first way for Nick and Sabrina to kind of come together in that sort of way. I also really liked my wig that I was wearing that day. We always have fun though, that's the truth of it. Is I can't pick a scene because every scene that we film together always turns out to be really fun. Except when I'm well, it's fun for me to spit on his face. I don't know if he finds it fun for me to spit on your face, but...
And how is it like working with all the amazing cast of the show?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I mean, Miranda, and Lucy, and Michelle, and Chance, and Lachlan, and Jazz, and Ross, everyone. Yeah. Does anyone still ship Harvey and Sabrina? Yeah, exactly. We got... Bye-bye. No, honestly, it's really fun. All of us are like a family up there. Everyone's always playing jokes on each other. It's the most fun environment to be on.
I bet you guys have tons of fun backstage, right?
It's debaucherous.
And can you tell me like a funny anecdote of what happens like when the cameras turn off with the cast?
A lot happens when the cameras turn off. Gavin and I have been doing this thing lately where he's really good at the guitar and I'm really good at making up lyrics on the spot. So
She will improv like an entire album.
I feel like we have like albums worth of songs that we've sung at this point. My original lyrics, your song playing abilities, and it's really fun. I think we should release an album at some point.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, now you have a new project. You
I
can
think
start
we
working
could go on
your
tour.
album.
Making
Yeah.
small time back there.
Yeah, I love that. And how about you? Do you have any funny anecdotes of like the backstage of the show?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, everyone's so talented, and we get to sit back there. That's where the bonding is really happening too, and that just lends itself so nicely to the work that we get to do together as well. Everyone's just so lovely, and when we get to cross paths, you know, it's because, you know, all of our characters are kind of going in all these different directions, so when we all get together, it just feels like family. It's a big brouhaha, you know? We all get to hang out. Truly.
That's amazing. And you guys, I mean, on so many scenes, you guys are making magic come to life. So how is it for you? How do you guys prepare for the special effects, the learning of the spells and the incantations? Is it hard?
It's fun. We're either making magic or making out. That's pretty much our relationship on the show. And I would say that the spell casting, like Gavin was saying earlier, is one of the more fun parts of the show because you kind of just feel like you're playing. Like, that's what I was doing as a kid too. I wanted to be Hermione Granger when I grew up, you know? So, to have wands or special powers and do spells, I mean, it's really awesome, to be quite honest. It's one of the more fun, surreal parts of the job. It makes every day exciting. I never get bored.
Cool. And how about you, Gavin? How do you prepare for the magic?
Man, the crew make it easy. You know what I mean? We learn the spells, but it feels like you're actually doing some magic because, you know, people are doing all these practical effects behind the scenes, and, you know, if you're sealing a door, they're like closing it for you, and I mean, the magic is in making it all together. It's just lovely. It feels powerful.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, throughout the show, we see Sabrina really coming on her own. We chose a scene where we actually see her super empowered. We had to pick one. I mean, there were so many. So we're going to check a little bit about this scene, and we'll talk a little bit about Sabrina's journey throughout the show.
Great.
Okay? Cool. Podemos ver tape, señora directora. That's great.
Yeah, it's good.
It's funny, it's dramatic, it's magical, it's everything, right?
That was really the first time I think that Sabrina exercised her power in such a way. It's such an important moment for her. And when we were filming that scene, I don't know if I even fully realized how big of a moment that would be in the show because it's early on. It's in the first episode, and yet it carries on throughout that. I don't think, if that hadn't happened, maybe she wouldn't have gotten that taste of what power is and what that feels like and the rush that it gives her. And in that moment, I feel like she was more witch than she was mortal, and that's the first time that we kind of really see that in such a dark way. And I think that's a really pivotal moment for her, for sure.
And before talking a little bit about Sabrina's path, how is it like working with those three?
It's amazing. I love the Weird Sisters. It's really funny because in the show they kind of hate me and we like each other so much in real life that there's a lot of apologizing after we film. He's like, I'm sorry, it's not me, it's just my character. But it is really, really fun to work with those girls. And honestly, I just like the fact that we're not just portraying unicorns and rainbows. There is tension between characters. No one's perfect, and that's what I kind of like about Sabrina's relationship with the Weird Sisters, particularly Prudence. They've always kind of butted heads, but at times they support each other as well, and they lift each other up. And you know, in episode 8, in Feast of Feasts, Sabrina literally convinces Prudence not to sacrifice herself because even though they've done kind of not so nice things to each other, at the end of the day, they're women. They're going to support other women. They're witches, and I think that that's something that the show really nails, is that there can be tension, but there can also be like just support underneath it all.
Yeah, there's support, and I also kind of get the feeling that they admire each other, you know?
I think so. I think there's a mutual respect. It's very unspoken, but I think it's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Gabby, what can you tell us about Nick's journey throughout the show?
I mean, we definitely see him evolve from the first time we see him in episode 4. He's such a flirty kind of dude at the top, you know. He's been around the block maybe with all the witches, and like keeps his head down and is really focused on his studies, and that's his MO until Sabrina comes along, and we see him tap into this sensitivity and a certain level of love that he thought only humans were capable of. And it totally flips his world. Like, Sabrina totally changes him in that regard, and we see some of his past come to life in part 2 as well, and kind of where he came from. And Sabrina's a big part of opening himself up to, you know, his traumas or struggles, and we see him continue on that.
That's great. And Kiernan, what does it mean to be a modern witch for you?
I think it means being an unapologetic feminist. I think that it means, yes, absolutely. I think that it means willing things to happen, manifesting what you want, and knowing that you can do whatever you want. And I think that at the end of the day, is really what I think of as the modern witch, is someone who knows that they can achieve what they want, what they believe, what they put out into the universe. That's to me what the modern witch is.
And you talked about powerful women, and your cast is full of powerful women. What can you tell us about Sabrina's relationship with the other female characters?
Absolutely. I mean, Sabrina's best friend is Rosalind Walker. And I think throughout the show, they've sort of supported each other's journeys. And I think that kind of strong core female friendship is really important. And beyond Rosalind, Sabrina's friend, Theo, transitioned from Susie to Theo. And I think it's really important to portray friends supporting other friends, making decisions, making life choices, and it's a really cool thing to be part of a show that champions the LGBTQ community in such a positive way. So beyond just female friendship, I think the show is just about friendship and supporting people for who they truly are, and not being biased and not carrying any kind of hate toward anyone just because they are their truest version of themselves. I mean, I really like that about the show.
Yeah, that's great. And what's Nick's relationship with the female characters?
There's one that matters to him the most.
I know.
That one. You know, every other character is either a help or a hindrance, and that's what he looks at. Really, like, you know, he has a bit of a camaraderie with Ambrose and understands that he's, you know, a smart old warlock, and Hilda is might have her suspicions about Nick, and Nick sees that, and Nick admires Zelda's power and her strength, but truly, she's his world.
And if you had to play any other character, forget about the gender or anything, who would it be and why?
Hilda Spellman.
I was gonna say the same one. She's my favorite.
I love Hilda, but I would want to play Madam Satan.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Great choice. Okay, can I change my mind? Can I choose?
Yeah, you can choose Madam Satan. We can both be Madam Satan if
Nice.
you want.
Okay, so we're gonna watch a scene from part 2. I'm gonna talk a little bit about how part 2 ends. To see if maybe I can get you to say a little something about part 3.
Part 3?
Yeah, but we're gonna watch the clip first.
What? We're gonna watch
We're gonna watch the teaser. ¿Podemos ver el clip, señorita directora?
Alright. I don't know if we can tell you anything about part 3 though yet.
But can you tell me what's gonna happen to
Kiernan.
after this scene?
I don't think we're allowed to tell them anything.
Come on.
Just a little, like a wee secret.
Yes.
He always does this to me. He always look at me with those eyes, and then I mean, maybe we can tell him something?
You know what?
Do you guys want to know something about part 3?
¿Quieren saber algo de la tercera parte? ¿Sí? A ver, levante la mano si quieren alguna pista. Okay, so I think people want to know something, but you know what?
Yeah?
I've learned this spell that if we cast it correctly, it's gonna give us a little clue about part 3. Okay? Vamos a hacer un pequeño encantamiento, pero voy a necesitar la ayuda de todos acá. ¿Sí? Vamos a hacer un hechizo, y si lo decimos bien, vamos a desbloquear, vamos a ver alguna pequeña pista sobre la parte 3. ¿Están listos? Okay, so we have the magic words here, okay? So this is the correct way to cast the spell. Is you put your hands together like this, and you say, "Date revelaciones, Tetra Pax." Okay? So, date revelaciones, Tetra Pax. Are you ready? Okay, so we'll do it now. 1, 2, 3, all together. Date revelaciones, Tetra Pax. Let's see what clue we get. Let's see. What's gonna happen? Are you in the clue or not? So, part 3, Johnny, okay. So, guys, January 24th, premiere of part 3. Okay, and this is exclusive. The first style we announced is right here. La primera vez. Esto lo saben ustedes y nada más que ustedes. El estreno exclusivo de la tercera parte de Sabrina. Wow, guys, this is amazing. I mean, we're almost a month from the premiere. Are you guys anxious?
I am so excited that people finally know!
Oh my God.
I felt bad keeping it a secret for so long
That's
from
so
you guys.
amazing. Okay, so with this clue, we say goodbye to the panel. It's been amazing to have you guys here. We love you. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome anytime.
I told you I'm coming back next week.
Definitely. We can't wait to have you here once more. So we're gonna make sure to check part 3. And before we go, we're gonna take a little picture. Okay, we're gonna take a little picture with the audience.
I would love that.
We're gonna take one picture with me, and then
Can I also take a photo of you guys?
this is a selfie moment. Yeah.